Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. The Sunken City mini-set Throne of the Tides is rapidly approaching, but there's still a few good days of standard Hearthstone left before the mini-set, so in this video I'm going to take a look at the best decks you can play before the mini-set arrives. This time I decided to do things a little bit differently, and I'm actually showing the best deck for each class. I have also put them in order, so the number 1 deck is the best one and the number 10 deck is the weakest one, so you could kind of infer that Druid is currently the weakest class. However, I have only included one deck for each class, so some of the classes have multiple great decks, like Paladin for example, and I won't showcase all of them this time. Anyway, let's take a look at the best deck for each class before the mini-set. And coming in at number 10 is Ramp Druid. Ramp Druid is currently sporting around 51% win rate, so yeah, you can still climb with Ramp Druid. And if you want to climb with Ramp Druid, this is currently the best list to do so. So your Kazakusan style list with Naga Giants, with Oracle of Elune. Just pretty standard stuff, but sometimes Ramp Druid, you get those mana crystals, you fill your board with Naga Giants, and the opponent can't do anything, and that's fun. And coming in at number 9, the second weakest class is Mage. For Mage, there are like the two competing decks really. There's the Mech Mage and then there is the Naga Mage. And Naga Mage gets better the higher on the ladder we go compared to Mech Mage. And very high in Legend Naga Mage seems to be the superior deck, although then again very high in Legend Naga Mage is like 49% win rate deck, so does that really help with anything? I don't think it does, probably doesn't. Overall, Naga Mage is the more difficult one to play, Mech Mage is the easier to play, and Mech Mage has better results all the way up to Legend, and only it's there where Naga Mage is finally going to catch up. So I would overall recommend Mech Mage. And this Mech Mage list seems to be doing well at the moment. The one drop spot, that's where like there's been Trogs, there's been Shivering Sorceresses. In this version, it's Peasants, and the current meta slightly slower. There's not always something to challenge your Peasant, especially if you get Peasant on 1, so Mech Mage with Peasant, currently the best Mage deck overall. And coming in as number 8 is Warlock, and the best Warlock deck at the moment is Murloc Warlock. There's also Curse Warlocks around. Curse Warlocks are doing a little bit poorer, and Curse Warlock, like if you know what you're doing against Curse Warlock just has some really fatal weaknesses, some of which are going to be eradicated by the upcoming miniset, so we'll see Curse Warlock probably going to become a lot better then, but right now Murloc Warlock is where it's at. Murloc Warlock list is the same that I have been featuring previously, nothing has changed. The Lushwater Mercenary list is still the best one. Gigafin, don't ignore Gigafin. Gigafin is like the second or third best card in the entire deck. Sometimes you just get your Bloodstain Vilefin, you draw your Gigafin, you destroy the enemy minions for free, while you get a couple of minions of your own, and boom boom, and people are just gonna die. Murloc Warlock, the premium aggro deck at the moment. And coming in at number 7 is Rogue, and for Rogue there's really only one archetype that is being played, and that is Thief Rogue. But which Thief Rogue is the best? There's like 20 or 30 Thief Rogue lists around, and like, yeah, do I run that Cutlass Courier? Do I run 2 copies of Fillet Fighter or not? Minor differences. You change 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards at most, and that's how you come up with tens of variations. The sample size is overall quite small. There's like around 1000-ish games each, which means that it is impossible to comprehensively say which one of these is the best. None of them seem to be a general outlier, so none of them are that much better than the others. We could say, hey, this is the card that makes Thief Rogue great. But overall, Thief Rogue doing fine on the ladder. And coming in at number 6 is Demon Hunter. Yeah, Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is actually still a serious class, although it only has this deck really. And this deck is not very widespread, although we're getting more and more statistics, and the more stats I see of this archetype, the more I like it. And it's the Karya Naga Demon Hunter. So you have Karya Fellsoul here, and you have Zilag of the Abyss. And Zilag is the only demon in your deck, so you really try to find that Karya, and you try to not draw the Zilag. And then when you get Karya, you might even be able to discount Karya with Wayward Sage. You play your Karya, it's going to be a better Zilag of the Abyss, then maybe later you play the real Zilag, and you still have Kurtrus. Yeah, just some serious stuff going on. There's a video of this archetype already on my channel, not this exact list, but a similar one, and yeah, this is a good deck. This is actually a good deck. The more data is coming, and the better it's looking, and yeah, loving it. And at number 5 we have Warrior, and the best Warrior deck seems to be Charge Warrior still. There's really 3 playable Warrior decks. We have Quest Warrior, we have Control Warrior with Kazakusan, and we have Charge Warrior, which is essentially also a variant of Control Warrior, but this time with the OTK Gelvangar combo. Which means that Charge Warrior is a little bit weaker at defending than Control Warrior because the combo takes several card slots from the deck, so you're just going to draw some combo pieces instead of removal tools. Whereas the Kazakusan Real Control Warrior deck, it's much better at defending, but it has difficulty sometimes ending the game. It's a lot slower, then you eventually get your Kazakusan out, then you hope that Kazakusan will close the game, whereas with Charge Warrior, once you get your combo, you just kill people. So Charge Warrior still seems to be the better one, although the recent meta changes have meant that Control Warrior is catching up again. Like Control Warrior was better all the way until the balance changes, then Charge Warrior leaped ahead, and now Control Warrior is catching up again because of meta changes, so Control Warrior might become the better option eventually with Kazakusan. And Quest Warrior also not out of the picture, still a perfectly valid deck, has a bunch of good matchups in the current meta. You can also play with that one to Legend. But right now, the best Warrior deck, OTK combo. And at number 4 we have Priest. Yeah, Priest is kind of like the 4th best class in the game. Depends on how you define the best class, I suppose, because Priest really only has this one deck. All the other Priest decks are pretty bad. But the buffs to Serpent Week did make Naga Bless Priest a thing, and the deck is being refined, and people are learning to play it better, and it has better card choices, and it just keeps getting stronger. And yeah, it's actually looking like 55% win rate even, so this is definitely a serious contender, all the way to Legend and beyond. And number 3, the 3rd best class. Is it really 3rd best class? I mean, Shaman has this one deck. They have one deck, which is the Burn Shaman deck. But Burn Shaman, underappreciated, but still going strong. Like Burn Shaman was doing really great in the last expansion. It's one of the few decks that survived mostly intact for this expansion, although it did lose a few tools and it did gain, especially Bioluminescence, which enables some of those Burn OTK turns. So some changes, but overall the plan of having burn spells, the plan of having Wildpaw Cavern, Snowfall Guardian, ability to duplicate your Snowfall Guardian with Brilliant Macaw, that's still all there. And yeah, Burn Shaman doing great right now. And then the 2nd best deck in the game, and that is Beast Hunter. Beast Hunter is also an archetype that is constantly evolving. We're still finding out more about it. This secret variant seems to be the best one still. There's also a hybrid style deck that uses a Naga opening and then into beasts, so Naga Beast Hunter, which is playable. It's a pretty good deck actually, but it looks like the secret one still has a slight edge over that one, especially now that Quickshot has been introduced to this archetype. Quickshot is a card that was missing from original Beast Hunter lists. Quickshot in this one, it's not used for card draw, but it's used just to stabilize, to buy some time. Good removal piece. I mean, 2 mana, 3 damage. You can just use that, buy yourself a little bit more time, get time to get all of your big beasts into action, and then just win games. But the best class in the game, there's very little doubt about what is the best class in the game. The best class in the game is Paladin. But which deck is the best Paladin deck? Because we have Control Paladin, we have Mech Paladin, we have Hand Buff Paladin. Right now in the current meta, it looks like Hand Buff Paladin is falling off a little bit. Mech Paladin is still going very, very strong. I mean, Hand Buff Paladin falling off, it's relative. Like falling off from the top 3 decks maybe, but falling off from being still a really good deck to climb, no way. Hand Buff Paladin is still a really good deck to climb. Mech Paladin still doing very, very well. But right now, with the way meta is working out, it looks like Control Paladin is the best, especially also with Warrior changing from Control Warrior into Charge Warrior. That has been very good for Control Paladin. If the Warrior decks become more Control Warrior decks again instead of Charge Warrior decks, then that would favor Mech Paladin. But right now, Control Paladin, it's just a good deck. You defend, you get some minions, you get your Light Force Carriel, then you can buff up your Mr. Smite, and Padow, Smite can even OTK people. So very, very strong archetype. Really, the deck with the least weaknesses at the moment, because this deck literally only has 3 weaknesses. Mech Paladin, Quest Warrior, Control Warrior. Those are the only matchups that are below 50% for this deck. So yeah, very, very strong. And currently the best deck in the game. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.